What's up, everybody? Average Juice here, back with another God or Goddess build. This time we're heading over with Amara. I actually made a really fun build for. I actually did a Project Reflect Amara. Obviously, it has some damage where it goes into like stuff like Ties of Mind, and the other thing too is we also have reverberation. Pretty much what I've realized is if you can line it up just right on like one of the bosses, you can actually get a critical hit. And if you land a critical hit, you can actually kind of one-shot some of the bosses. These are like kind of like stuff like Scrap Trap is the one that I was testing it out on when I was farming for stuff last night. I got a chance to experiment and see like all the crazy stuff this can do, but I've done everything with these. I told you guys I'm doing everything whenever I do these builds, so I'm like, I went through all the takedowns, I went through everything, I did it all on true trials. Let's actually get into the build. This is my red tree. So the one thing is, I'll just go over the skills and then I'll kind of explain some of the stuff. Like I said in the past, guys, I'm not very good at math, so I do not know if my math is going to match up. If you guys have any other, like, you guys want me to fix anything, you guys notice anything, or you guys know anything, leave a comment below, alright? And I'll adjust the build as we're going on. I only get this from 2 points from a class mod. I actually will take the class mod off to show you guys kind of what I'm rocking with for the build. I apologize. So I have 0 points in there. Alright, so Infusion. So it converts a portion of my damage dealt by Mars weapons into my action skill element. So that's up to 40%. Wildfire, okay? You have a chance to spread your status effects to nearby enemies. So Illuminated Fist. This is going to give you bonus melee damage. The reason I had another one that I was doing before, I was actually specking 3 into Unweave the Rainbow. I actually took 1 out of there to put on Illuminated Fist. The reason that I did that is because whenever you're using the Fish Slap, if you don't have Illuminated Fist on, you're not doing as much damage as you would if you are using it. Whenever you're going to check out the Fish Slap with Illuminated Fist, it's going to actually apply that damage, including with the Unleash the Dragon. Otherwise, it's kind of like you're just throwing, like, not tissue papers per se, but you're not throwing, like, the full effect out. Tempest. So you deal increased elemental damage and shock damage, right? You get 30% on top of what you already do is, like, base damage. Okay, and we already know that Amara is just an absolute beast. Dread. So, well, you have so many grasp, your gun damage increased by 50%. That kind of goes in also with Ties of Bind, alright? It's one of the best skills I feel like in the game, and a lot of my annoyance, and I'll kind of go over those in a little bit. Like, this really stacks. Deep Well, increases magazine size. Who doesn't want magazine size? Indiscriminate. This can get mayhem scaling, alright? So the ricochet chance is 30%. Ricochet damage is 50%. Action skill ricochet chance 60%, minus 25 for the damage. I unfortunately did not do the action skill ricochet chance or the damage on the bottom. Pretty much all I've been doing is I've been doing 30 times 31 for mayhem scaling. I'll try to leave a link down below in the comment section for you guys. It's going to show exactly what I'm talking about. So there's certain skills on the Vault Hunter hub that was going to show you these are the skills that do mayhem scaling. So all I did is I just times those by 31. You have a 930% chance with the mayhem scaling for ricochet chance. And then while you're grasped, you have a 1,860% chance. Alright, that's with the damage, 1,860 like percent damage, even with the 9 is 50. Actually, it'd probably be less. So that math screwed up. I apologize. And then last one, Sustainment. It does 1 to 4%, but that one also can get mayhem scaling. So more or less what you can get is you can up to 124% elemental damage. Lifesteal from the elemental damage. Okay? So here is my green skill tree. I'll kind of go over at the very end what stuff I kind of roll into. First off, I do personal space, alright? They deal bonus damage based on the distance to the target. The closer the target, the greater the bonus. So I'm like, you really like to get right up in people's faces. And with that, that's why I have Helping Hands, alright? You gain damage reduction. That's why this is really kind of just Project Reflect Amara, alright? There's also Ties of Bind that's included in this, but that's not like the whole build. I had Clarity to get health regeneration. Honestly, Sustainment and Clarity, I'm like, this is kind of all you really need. So after using Ash skill, the bonus is doubled for a few seconds, so I can get up to 4%. It's going to last for 5 seconds, and then you're done. So, Arms deal. So, Amara deals increased splash damage. I actually had more in Arms deal, but I was taking that some more even out the build a little bit, alright? But I'm like, honestly, that much splash damage and that much splash damage reduction, I'm like, that's still pretty good. So you get up to 8% and 21% splash damage reduction. So here is actually what I want to talk about. So, Unweave the Rainbow. So, Amara's weapons get increased projectile speed and splash damage. So you get up to 70% projectile speed and up to 35% splash damage. Ends up turning out to be a pretty big beast, alright? The reason I have these points set up the way they are is so you can get Expedite, or Expedite. So, whenever Amara kills an enemy with her action skill, she gets an increased action skill cooldown rate until she activates her action skill again. So, I'm like, literally, you can just keep kind of spamming some of the things. A lot of stuff you can actually do things twice. All right, that's with another one of the skills that I have on. When Amara freezes an enemy, she gains increased movement speed and weapon damage for a short amount of time. Honestly, you could probably switch this around, you know, but I'm like, with the annoyance that you're going to get for here, and sometimes people like using cryo weapons, you know, I'm like, I just decided to kind of leave it. So you get increased gun damage, movement speed, and then, last but not least, Unweave the Rainbow. So she deals bonus damage of her attuned element whenever she deals melee damage or splash damage to frozen enemies. All right, so more or less, probably this would be best if you're doing like a full cryo build, honestly. Everybody kind of knows the orb is like a certain way, but I'm like, with Unweave the Rainbow, I got 22%, and then with the times 31 Mayhem scaling, I got 682%. Okay, that's what I was kind of getting for here. Killing enemy grants Amara a stack of rush. So I'm like, a lot of these skills get the Mayhem scaling. I'm like, so that's going to be extra skill damage, okay? All you got to do is times that 5.9 times 10. That's going to how much you're going to be kind of getting for stacks, and then that's going to extra skill damage you're going to be able to get. We'll do 6 times 10, so 60, so you're just like a little under 60%. You get increased reload speed, spec 3 inside there. You guys can kind of see reload speed, weapon swap speed, mode switch speed. Violent Tapestry. Applying a status effect grants Amara a stack of rush. Activating her action skill consumes all stacks. Alright? So you have a 0.8 effect chance, alright? Violent Tapestry, there's a bug in this, so you don't need to go like crazy to town. One will suffice for this. Just so you all know. Transcend. You gain increased accuracy. We all know that I need that. If you guys have ever seen my videos in the past. You can also get increased critical hit damage. So you can get plus 38% accuracy and plus 27%. Okay? Usually always is going to activate whenever you spam your thing with the Revolter. Alright, we'll get into that in a little bit. Alacrity. I don't even know if I said that right. More or less, all you do is you, for every stack of rush, I get increased reload speed. So I'm like, this is going to make your weapons do mad damage. So Ascendant. All action skill elements gain increased effects. So as you guys can see, you get all those effects on there. Soul Sap, Allure, Glamour, Revelation, Stillness of Mind. So I'm like, this kind of is going to help out with some of the other skills that you're going to be using. Laid Bare. Enemies take increased damage from all sources for a few seconds that are being damaged by Amara's action skill. So that's kind of what I was saying. You know, you do the Reverberation twice, or you do Ties of Mind. They're going to get increased damage for 25% for 8 seconds. So, Wrath. I did 3 out of 3. Amara gains increased gun damage. This effect is increased after she activates her action skill for a few seconds. So, got 20% after action skill use. So, that can go up to 40%. And then, Awakening. So, Amara's rush stack gains increased effectiveness. The rush stack effectiveness is 30%. Remnant. So, this is one of the things that this thing is actually ridiculous. So, Remnant is really nuts, alright? When Amara kills an enemy with a gun or action skill, she creates a homing projectile that seeks out a new enemy, dealing her action skill elemental damage. I might head over and I might show you guys exactly what I kind of mean whenever you do Ties of Pine or whenever you have one of the Remnant orbs go out. But like, this is one of the ones that I was talking about. This thing can go up to like 900. Like 909 million. I've seen the damage pop up. I thought I was going crazy when I saw it, but I'm like, this thing can do mad damage. And then last but not least, we have Avatar. Her action skill can be activated while it's cooling down. This may only be used once per completed cooldown. Additionally, it increases her max rush stacks, alright? One other thing that I forgot to mention. Oh, with Transcend, this can actually stack. Alright, a lot of these skills, whenever you do it, you can actually stack them up multiple times by spamming kind of reverberation. So if you guys kind of take a look at the bottom. So you get all those skills. Alright, you get Transcend stacking up, you get the 5 out of 5, you get the 5 right there. Alright, so some of the skills can stack, some of the other ones will not stack. I use light shows, alright? All these are max damage, all this stuff's kind of like max damage, like Soul Renders, alright, no pew pew, boom sickles and all that jazz. The Kibsworts are not max. The laser splitters are not max as well, alright? I wanted to kind of give you guys all the heartbreakers I don't think are max. I think like one of them might be max. For the guys that are going to be wanting the game save, I will re-roll all of these weapons. So I'm going to show you guys that like you really don't need to have like the perfect rolls and all that stuff. I'm going to try kind of mixing it up, showing some different things, okay? Like I said in all my videos, I did not farm for all this gear personally myself, okay? I always like to let it be known. I always like to put it out there because, you know, people are going to be like, dude, you know, I can't replicate this damage. I understand. I'm like, I'm going to leave a game save for people that are on PC. I also have a Discord. All right, I'll leave the description below. I'm like, come check it out. If you want, I'm like, message me on Discord. I will drop you the save. I have no problems doing that. All I have to do is just make a copy, and then I can drop all the stuff. And then I was kind of floating between what I wanted to do. Whenever I'm doing certain things, I have where Grasp is active if you want to do Ties of Bind. Or I have stuff, well, so Face Slam, you know, that's not even a good one. Grasp, Let's see, grass. Ember's Purge. Let's see. Phasegeasp Reverberation. So after using Phasegeasp, weapon damage is increased by 250% for a short amount of time. I'm like, so I have some of the stuff that has double on it. I'm like, you don't need to get max damage to be able to do mad damage on this build. Binary DNA, that one's have a barrier on there. So I'm like, that one's not the full damage capabilities you can get. Alright, I kill an enemy, grants weapon damage and reload speed for this 25 seconds. It can also stack as well. So, got a spiritual driver. Honestly, I never really use this, okay, but I'm like, you probably still could use this. It'd be a lot of fun. She can increase gun damage while she's moving. The quicker she moves, the greater the gun damage. So I'm like, that'd probably be good if you're using like a snowdrift victory rush or something, you know. My guy have a muse. The only reason I had the muse on was just when I was checking out stuff for melee. We got a couple phase zerkers, you know, weapon critical hit, weapon damage, shotgun damage, splash damage, melee damage. All right, got those fish slaps, cut purse lunch pad, Trojan Sluter. That's what's gonna make it to where like you can actually do one-shotting a lot of the bosses or like a lot of the kind of the raid bosses. Berserker shield. So actually, this one's kind of funny. So all of my purple stuff that has like the triple rolls on it, I've actually just gotten lucky and had these. And of course, you have the crit. I lost my last one, so make sure that you don't. Revolter, all right? I have a Revolter on there. Action skill start. Everybody kind of already knows Revolter's the best one of the game. Diluvian Firestorm. Action skill is active. Grenade damage increased by 150%. I actually got this. You don't have to use that for the build. I'm pretty sure you can just use like a Hunter Seeker. You can just use something else. All you kind of really want is just having that bonus like damage, like whenever you're kind of like ending your action skill or something. I kind of was just messing around doing other stuff, you know, just tinking around with stuff. Of course, we got the Pearl, all right? I'm like, that's the build right there, all right? I'm like, there's no other kind of things to say. Mayhem, obviously Mayhem 11. I'm going to do you guys' kind of favorite thing, all right? I'm going to show you guys what this build can do. Alright guys, I'm back. You guys can kind of get the general gist. That's what the build's like. Unfortunately, I crash. I've been having this issue lately where I keep crashing. You guys can see that Amara build's a beast. I didn't get to finish Molly 1 takedown. Alright, if you guys would hit the bell icon, leave a like, leave a comment below. I'd appreciate it. I'll also be linking a game save in the Discord. So, peace out everybody. Thanks for watching.